On Overdrive today, we bring you two super cool concepts from Mahindra & Mahindra's grand showcases in South Africa, and we check out the latest electric scooter from Ather, the 450S. Hello and welcome to Overdrive. I am Soini Dutt. Mahindra & Mahindra have hit the headlines by unveiling the all-electric Thar model in South Africa earlier this week. Now, this also previews what the second generation ICE model of the Thar will look like once it launches in the country next year. Bert has all the details.
Right behind me is Mahindra's big announcement from here in South Africa. This is the Thar.e, the electric version of the Thar. Now, this is going to be the next generation of the Thar, of course. This is a born electric platform, which means this car will first come out as an EV and then, of course, migrate to an ICE as well. But these are the options. This is the first option that you will see. The styling is the one biggest element about the new Thar electric, and it is just wow. I mean, look at it. It looks incredible, attractive from any and every perspective for that matter. This also underpins, like I mentioned, the next generation of Thar. This is both going to be available in 3-door and 5-door version. What we're seeing right now is a 5-door-ish version. Nothing has been confirmed at this moment, but you can immediately see from the wheelbase, the length of the wheelbase, that this is, or rather could be, the 5-door version. Currently, this has just got 3 doors on it, but what we're going to see in the future is going to be 5 doors. The one incredible thing about this also is that this has got a fairly high ground clearance. For an EV, that is absolutely surprising because you've got a battery pack that resides in the floor pan, but you've got ground clearance up to about 300 mm. That's incredible, which means you can use this both in urban conditions as well as extra-urban or off-road conditions very comfortably without it affecting, the battery pack that sits under the floor pan. Now, the battery pack, of course, is something that's going to be very good because we're assuming this is going to have an 80 kilowatt-hour battery pack. This is going to use the blade technology, again, which is patented by BYD, and that is something that Mahindra is going to be using on this as well. That effectively is a lithium ferrous phosphate battery, and it will have phenomenal range. Mahindra is assuming that this range could go anywhere up to about 500 kilometers on a full charge. It will also have fast charging properties, which means you can use a 170 kilowatt charger, and that would give you a fast charge in about 31 to 45 minutes, is what I assume is where that fast charging would take place to 100% on the Thar.e. Overall, very handsome vehicle. Here are a few of the elements that I think are fairly interesting on the new Thar.e. Of course, the badge that is there on that grille. Again, no grooves, no vents because it's an electric. The shape of the headlamps. Now, these are exposed headlamps. There isn't a casing, there isn't a cover on top of them. Don't use reflectors as well. So, it's quite possible that the production version may come with reflectors to get you better illumination. You've got an exposed tow hook right here on the bumper. Again, an interesting element. Now, another very interesting piece is these overhead clamps for the bonnet as well. Now, this is something that Mahindra has been using on all of its Jeeps in this category, dating back to the CJ as well. Even the new Thar has got these overhead clamps, and this, I like the shape of them, inserted into the bodywork. Looks very impressive for that matter. Then, the grab handles. Let me show you these. If you come around here, and on top, you notice that it's got grab handles right here on the bonnet. Fantastic. Again, you've got cameras for the rear view mirrors, but this could just be a concept. Eventual production version would have a full-fledged rear view mirror, but quite cool over here. Some of the design elements look very Range Rover-ish influenced, especially this large plate down here running down the front fenders. It's also got fairly good bulk. You've got these nice wheel arches. They stand out immensely. They give it a lot of structure, they give it a lot of strength, gives that solidity. Looks very futuristic as well. I also like the running board down here. And you can look at it, it's got the trellis frame kind of structure, but that is essentially where the battery pack will reside. Makes it, again, you just know that the battery pack is going to sit down under that area. Exposed door hinges, something Mahindra is famous for. We've seen this several times before on the Scorpio as well, keep that in mind. But you've got exposed door hinges over here as well. Coming to the rear, pretty impressive tail lamp units as well, and a centrally mounted rear spare tire. I'm not sure the door opens, does it? Nothing. Again, this is a vision of what the Thar electric would look like, but someone really had a good dream. The other big change at Mahindra, of course, is the structure, the two structures that are going to come in. And if you notice this logo, now this is the logo for Mahindra's EV range of cars. This EV family is going to be sporting this logo. This is the infinity symbol along with the mix of, Mahindra's Twin Peaks logo as well. That's essentially what this stands for. And this is going to come on all of their EVs, on all of their electric products. Henceforth, this is going to be used. And this is part of the Inglo family, that platform is called Inglo from what we know. We've seen this last year when Mahindra unveiled those 5 electric vehicles that are going to be coming into the Indian market. One of them is going to be the BE5, and that is almost production ready. It will be out in the market very, very soon. From what I hear is 2024. But the Thar has got a much longer timeline. We don't have an exact dateline for the Thar electric, but what I would presume is this would take at least another 5, probably 6 years before this comes into production form out in the market. Again, some clear elements over here. If you look at this, grab handles where you can mount several things onto this. The one big advantage that this new Thar electric would have, and this Thar would have for that matter, is that it wouldn't be made on the fiber body shell, which means you can comfortably mount a carrier to carry additional implements that you would want for an off-road trip. I think that's a smart idea to do. It'd be very easy mounting this. Again, if you look at the door handles for the rear passenger door and for the front funky, you've got the side door handles, not outside, not exposed door handles. These are hidden door handles, very interesting. Similarly, on the front door as well, you've got something that isn't exposed. You know there's a door handle, but it's not mounted in the conventional way. So several design touches on this that are quite funky, quite interesting. How many of these actually make it production? We aren't clear, but there you have it. This is the new Thar electric, and it definitely has a lot going on for it.
Well, Mahindra hasn't announced any plans to launch the Thar.e in the country just yet. In fact, what you saw was in its concept stage. But given by the interest that this car has generated in social media, it does seem to be a very popular idea. We'll take a very quick break here on the show, but coming up on the other side, we'll tell you all about Mahindra's global pickup concept.